Good afternoon, mountain bikers. That's right, afternoon ride. Feels a little strange saying that. Today I'm going to bring you something that a lot of you have been asking me for. I'm finally out at PQ. So I'm starting on the east end. There's many places you can start in PQ, and I'll talk about that more during the ride. But today I'm going to bring you a pretty basic ride. This is going to be my PQ or Los Penasquitos Canyon beginner ride. So we're going to keep it to mostly double track, a little bit of single track. This is a great ride for anybody who's new to riding, or a great ride for kids. I take my 5-year-old out here and do about half of what I'm going to do today. So just to kind of give you an idea. So let's get started. I'll tell you about it more on the way. So once again, I'm starting at the east end, right off Park Village Road and Camino del Sur, I think it is. Is that what that says? Yeah, right across from the elementary school. So this ride starts with one of the biggest downhills you're going to get if you don't drop into the single track. So if you're a new rider, don't be intimidated by this. Once again, one of the hardest things you're going to get. So you can take a left here, you can go straight here. It's all going to take you to the same general area where we're going to drop down onto the main trail. I'm going to take a right to stay on the single track for another minute. And all of this just kind of takes you back to the same area. So, enjoy it. Hey, little rabbit. Once again, this takes you back to the same area, so as you're weaving through the single track, just take whatever route you like. Because it all pops out onto this little double track here. So we're going to be on this for a minute. So I just realized I forgot to start Strava. I'm not that far into it, I just started it now. So when you guys do look at my Strava, if you do to go on this ride, you want to start where I finished. Because I'm starting into the ride a little bit. Okay, anyway, you can kind of go either way here. You're going to see lots of little single track cutouts. The ones that you can't ride are all marked very well. That's one of the good things about this part of the ride. So if there's no sign, you're pretty much free to ride it. If there's a sign that says don't, then don't. We just passed one right there. I know there's been a lot of work that's gone into making these trails accessible for mountain bikers. So just try to keep to the bike-friendly trails. About the biggest hazard you'll find on this first half of the ride is going to be sand. On the second half of the ride, we have a little bit up and down and a couple little rock gardens. And that's stuff that'll be good for any newer riders to practice. Man, the wind's kicking. stop here for just a second. So, if you turn up here, that'll take you to the mesa. And there's a bunch of beginner-friendly single track up there, but it's not really a beginner-friendly climb. So, I'll be highlighting that when I do my intermediate video. If you're in good shape, but you're new to MTB, or if you've ridden a road bike a lot, if you're a runner, you could probably hit that climb and be fine. So stay tuned for the intermediate video. There'll be some good stuff up there for you. The single track itself is not that hard. Well, the single track on the mesa. There's some stuff up there as a newer rider you want to avoid. Also, if you come out here on a weekend, be prepared to share the trail. Today is a Monday afternoon, so there's not much, but if you come out here Saturday or Sunday, there's going to be people. And up into these hills, there's so much trail. And we're not going to explore that on this ride. But we will be getting out there, don't worry. This area is huge. This might be the largest trail system in San Diego. Okay, we're at the waterfall. When I'm with my 5-year-old, this is where I turn around. Can't remember if you can see it from up here. We'll cruise up and look. Well, this is a cool little feature. Never even noticed that. We're gonna have to do that in a minute. Hello. Doing well, how are you? Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. This is the waterfall. You can see it flowing down there a little bit. You can access it from either side of the creek. Just a nice little place to stop. It's definitely beautiful. Okay, we're gonna get back to the main ride. Then let's listen to that rock after. So now here you're gonna get a little bit of elevation change. It's still not much. As a new rider, it'll mostly just be really good practice for you. So take this as fast or as slow as you need to. We're also going to hit a couple rock gardens. There's lots of different lines you can take. If you want to avoid the rocks, you completely can almost. If you want to make it more challenging, like on the bigger rocks and go over them, that's totally an option too. So you can kind of make this ride suit your needs. Watch the bars on this fence. There's one more of these. And once again, this is about as gnarly as this section gets. So you can bring just about any bike out here. I haven't ridden that section yet with my son, but he's on a 20-inch rigid bike. He rides a lot of this, and he's fine. So it's very doable. Alright, we're going to continue along the single track. Another section where you can make this more challenging, make it less challenging. Do whatever suits your needs. Oh, I went the wrong way. Oops. That's supposed to be the horse trail. That's alright. So as you approach these bridges, just stay to the right. So once again, this is a huge area, and there's a lot of trails that are horse specific, hiker specific. I don't think there's any that are just for biking. So just make sure you stay off the ones that are not for bike riders. So there's going to be several crossings. That's the Sycamore crossing. We're going to keep going. I like the Wagon Wheel crossing better. Maybe we'll hit the Sycamore crossing on the way back. But this one it has a bridge that moves. And it's just a fun little challenge. Alright. This is probably our biggest downhill of the day right here. There's a little go around to the right. You're not feeling comfortable in this rock garden? That's fine. You can check that. But it's not too bad. And as always, especially for you newer riders, there's no shame in walking if you don't feel comfortable. I walk sections all the time if I'm not feeling them. Thank you, I'm the only one. So, the other thing I forgot to mention, normally I would have my bell. I'm being a hypocrite not using it, so I don't drive you guys on the camera crazy. But this is a place where I would say a bell is mandatory under normal circumstances. Take this section a little slower since I don't have my bell. There's some blind corners. It's also pretty sandy right now. Oh yeah, also, speaking of sandy, we need rain, but this place floods really easily. This is one of the places where you really just don't ride after the rain. Most of San Diego's like that, but here especially, sometimes these fields are closed for the entire season because it's in a valley and it floods. So if you are thinking of coming out here, keep that in mind. If it rained in the past week, I would say this place is probably a no-go. And if it's been raining a lot, it might be closed completely. So just check before you go. And if you're not sure where to look, the Mountain Bike Association, sdmba.com, I believe, is really good about updating their stuff. So we're going to go to the Wagon Wheel Crossing. And once again, this bridge moves. So just be ready for that. You can see it moving under me. It's pretty cool. It's something different. I will go and take this to the end so you guys can have a full look at it. And then you know what it looks like if you want to start from the other end. We're about to come up on our biggest climb. This climb is very doable. As long as you know it's coming, be ready for it. Downshift, all that good stuff. And it's not that big, but it's big for this ride. Alright. And quick downhill into Stronghold Valley. Alright, nobody coming up. Thank you. We're going to head towards the Stronghold Valley lot. And we made it to Stronghold Valley. So there are other ways you can go. Once again, I chose the most beginner-friendly ride that I could think of. So we're just going to go back the same way we came. For simplicity, I'm not going to refilm everything. Things that look different, or sections that are just a little bit more cool, I'm going to film those. But I'm not going to film that whole way back, because a lot of it's just pretty flat double track. So I'm going to speed through some of this stuff, film the cool stuff, and let's go. Little Pass Canyon is that way. Don't really recommend going that way. It's usually overgrown, just not the best area. So follow the sign for the trail to the waterfall. Alright, this is a fun downhill. Break these rocks, and this whole section's cool. Okay, so now we're back to the floating bridge. It's super fun, but we're not going to cross there this time. We'll go back a different way, just so you can see the other options. If you don't like this trail, go back to where we came and do that again and have lots of fun. There's a little single track up there. I wasn't sure. Looks like it might have been taken over by a tree. It's not. Okay, so once again, different section. We did not ride this on the way out. We're just going to cross the creek in a different spot. I personally don't like this way as much. I don't think it's as much fun, but you make your own decisions. So now we're a little higher. I'm looking across the creek. I can see a couple of trails dropping down along the ridge. Look gnarly. I'll try to find those little trail forks, see what they're rated. It's hard to tell how steep they are from here, but they look steep. So earlier, you can see the other rider across there. That's where we came down. All right, quick downhill. It's pretty blind, so I'm going to slow down. Okay, nobody else, that's good. So all the downhills that we've done so far are very doable for a new rider. Maybe not a little kid. I don't know if I would take my 5-year-old on all of them just because they're still learning bike control, but for those who are a little older and new riders, they're not really technical. They're wide open, so you have a pretty good berth. Just control your speed and get used to what the bike feels like going down a hill. Great place to come practice. There's a little single track cut out. I missed it. That's okay. Pops out right there. Good to know. Super mellow downhill. And we're coming up to our crossing. So this time we're going to take the Sycamore crossing. Earlier we did the Wagon wheel crossing. Man, there are so many birds right here. And I'm scaring every single one of them. Is this still here? It is. So this is late summer, and this is still very, very wet. Just giving you an idea of how well this place holds water. This is also a hotbed for poison oak. I don't see any right now. I'm keeping an eye out because I've had it. It sucks. If you've never experienced it, keep it that way. Alright, and now we're gonna hit the double track we were on earlier. .6 miles from the waterfall. When we get to a cool section, I'll turn the camera back on. So I forgot to mention earlier, if you do decide to do the Sycamore crossing as opposed to the wagon wheel, you still get this area. This semi-technical, a little bit more challenging section of trail. So, yeah, your crossing choice won't affect that. Playing with some different lines. Probably not a beginner-friendly feature, but it was still cool. Okay. So, you already saw this. I think from here I'm going to just keep the camera off. Unless something really cool happens. We'll see. So, this was your PQ beginner ride. Come check it out. If you have any questions about it, let me know in the comments. There's going to be more of PQ to come. I'm going to do a whole little series. Probably going to get spaced out just because I'm going to be doing other rides in between. So be on the lookout for those. And if there's any other rides or trails in the San Diego area you would like me to review, let me know in the comments. Thanks for hitting the trails with me today, and I'm looking forward to our next ride.